Hey YouTube, welcome back to the Thorin Alliance. What are we doing today, Jacob?
We're doing our top 5 movies of 2022.
So if you want to see how we rank them out, stick around. So 2022, we saw some kind of the going back to the cinemas came a thing, you know.
Yes.
After COVID, we started to see some big releases. A lot of movies that were meant to come out last year kind of got pushed back this year. So we got to see some movies we've been waiting for a while. We got to see some things from the Marvel franchises. We got a new Batman, being, hyped up and also, possibly talked down for a little while. And then a couple of surprising movies that we didn't even know existed. It's been a weird time for cinemas. At number 5, gone with Bullet Train. This is a movie I literally into the week it came out, I heard nothing about. Very star-studded, Brad Pitt headlining it. I saw the preview for it. I'm like, well, that looks a bit funny. I reckon this could be good. I took a stab, went and saw it, and was thoroughly entertained. There's not much I disliked about this movie. It kind of is what it is. It kind of indie. It was, kind of silly at times, kind of unrealistic, but it was just fun. It was what it was meant to be. I think the scenery of being on the bullet train, being in Japan, ticked a lot of boxes. I think it was a surprising movie that I think if anyone hadn't seen yet, you should see it and you'll be very surprised by how good this movie is. So that's my number 5.
Good choice. My number 5 is Elvis. And not knowing that much about Elvis, except for he passes away, he got too overweight and didn't look after himself, was refreshing to learn about someone that you didn't know previous history on, but really enjoyed the acting, the music, numbers. He's such a talented musician, but the main problem I have with the movie is that Elvis, even though he's the main character or draw card, they actually focus on his manager more, and it's hard to know the narrator is his manager, and it's hard to know if you can trust him or not. But overall, Elvis is a fantastic movie, thoroughly and enjoyed it, but also kind of knew what the outcome was going to be, so there weren't any stakes involved, but it was a true story and got to learn something about Elvis and didn't realize how tragic his story was with choosing his manager, so be wise of who you trust, I guess.
Great movie. At number 4, I've gone with Top Gun Maverick. So Top Gun Maverick is one of the most talked about movies this year. It's great. I hadn't seen the first movie until the day before this one came out. The first one was, it's out of date now, but it was okay. But this movie was awesome. The second movie, I was on the edge of my seat. The fact that they could drag out this idea of having a Top Gun program, giving Tom Cruise a reason to come back, I just thought it was great. It was a very simple movie in essence. It had action in it, it had love stories, it had, drama. It connected the first movie with the second movie really well. I just think it's really good. I don't think they need to make any more. I think it was great to revisit and bring back something that was such a big movie and a great starting block for Tom Cruise's career. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and again, a movie that surprised me. I didn't think I would like.
Good choice. My number 4 was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I really enjoyed this movie for the villain's perspective. We have gone through such a big journey with Wanda and Scarlet Witch now has become, looking for her children. Just really enjoyed her character arc, has finally gone to this moment and looking for her children. And Doctor Strange, you could argue, is probably the third main character, with America and Scarlet Witch being the main characters, but I still thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Getting introduced to the Illuminati and seeing all of them. The main problem I have with this movie, even though it's called the multiverse, there's actually not enough multiverse in this movie, but I would assume that's what the third one and future movies are for. But out of all the Marvel movies, I think this one is definitely the best one that has come out this year, and I'm a big Marvel fan, but I can admit it's not the best movie of the year.
I also did enjoy that movie. So number 3, Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore. I think this movie really brings the franchise back to life. The first movie was amazing, it was magical. The second movie, very political and boring. But this movie brings it all back together. It's got its critics. I liked it. I've seen it multiple times. I thought it was really well done. They found a way to bring back into the beast back into it. They found a way to incorporate the magic world, the politics, kind of link it to the main story, giving Dumbledore a big role. It's just magical. It's good to see the Harry Potter world living on, and I think this movie's done it justice. I'm looking forward to the next one.
My number 3 is Bullet Train, and I love this movie for its comedy and also the storytelling. Once everyone gets on the train, the first bit of the movie is probably its weakest point, but such unique storyline, very much like Tarantino. Really enjoyed Brad Pitt's performance and all the cast members of Hitmen and how the storyline all connects with the White Death, and probably the best action/comedy film of the year. Definitely would recommend it if you haven't seen it already, just for the entertainment factor and everything that happens in the movie. It's such a fantastic film. Yeah.
So at number 2, I've gone with Hustle, which is a movie on Netflix.
Haven't seen it yet.
Adam Sandler is in this. I think Adam Sandler is one of my favourite comedians. I won't necessarily say actors, but I love his comedies. But in this, I think he really showcases his acting. It's really raw and real. It involves so many, famous basketballers that are acting in it, either playing as themselves or playing as someone else. It's just a great story. He's a manager, or not a manager, so he's part of a basketball team and he's a scout. His job is for the Philadelphia 76ers to help scout new talent. He goes around the world looking for it. He finds someone surprisingly in Spain who just has all this raw talent but hasn't really ever played in a team, or just plays one-on-one street ball. He wants to turn him into the biggest thing ever. Teams don't want him. They think he's got issues. He then risks his whole reputation to help this guy make it the big time. This actor is also a professional basketball player, which makes it really cool. It's just, as a sports movie, it was amazing. It felt really real, opposed to these other sports movies where, they make the buzzer beater shot, or, they somehow save the day and win the championship at the last minute. This movie wasn't that. And I just really loved it. It's a movie I look forward to watching again. And Adam Sandler was great, and I think it's his best acting performance by a long shot.
High praise. My number 2 is Top Gun Maverick. This is such a true of how the saying is, it's important that the sequel does better, and this is a perfect example of it. The visuals of the planes and everything about the movie is amazing. The only problem I have with it is that the villains are referred to the enemy, and I found that pretty funny, even though they're clearly the Russians. But overall, really enjoyed all the tag names, Rooster, Maverick. Really enjoyed the whole dynamic of it, and this is just better than the first movie in every single way. And hopefully part of me would like there to be a third movie, but this one did such a fantastic job. A third one might ruin it, and it's such a... When I watched it, the movies, it was probably the best visual and everything. All the plane scenes were amazing. Just really probably the best film experience for action over, and hopefully they might do a TV show or something in the universe, but we'll see.
That leaves us with one, and we both got the same one, I presume. And what's that, Jacob?
The Batman.
So tell us, what did you like about the Batman?
The story, the filmmaking, the casting, everything about this story is... The best thing about it is that if you don't even like superhero movies and you just like movies in general, you can still like it. It's a great detective film about actually seeing Batman using his detective skills, try and catch not the Joker, the Riddler. And I think this shows that the Riddler is actually this might be controversial, but actually I think a Riddler is actually a better villain portrayed than the Joker. I know Heath Ledger did an amazing job, but I prefer the Riddler to the Joker. Yeah.
I agree. I really like the performance of the Riddler because I think a key to a hero versus villain movie is the villain has to have reason to be a villain. If it's just like, I want to rule the world, that's not good enough for me. He, was seeking revenge. He's very much like a terrorist. He was running this co-op kind of online organization to get other people to be involved in these terrorist attacks. And I think they did a really good job of that. The movie, I thought it was going to be rubbish, and I was pleasantly surprised.
We were both wrong.
I think Robert Pattinson did a great job as Batman. It just ticked so many boxes. It was dark, it was gritty, it was a good length, it was just entertaining the whole way, and I'm looking forward to seeing more movies, and I think it's been fairly well received. But I think the villain for me was, what did it. I think they did a good job, and the mystery of trying to find out who the villain is and why he wanted to do things was great. I think that's one thing I liked about in the Christian Bale series. I think that the villain, when they went with Bane, I liked how they built Bane up. The Joker, even though Heath Ledger was iconic in it, his reason for being the Joker was literally
burn money.
Some people just want to see the world burn. He's just evil because he's evil.
And he wants to burn money.
Which is, that's fine. I get that. He's just, some people are just evil, but I like a bit of reason behind it, So I think they did that really well in the Batman. Wait to see the next one and what they do.
Yeah, and they're also making some TV shows.
Yeah, which would be great. I'm very thrilled about that. So should we move into some honourable mentions? Anything that didn't quite make it for you that maybe, or something you mentioned why it didn't make the list?
Mention would probably be Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Probably the most emotional movie, but for me, the pacing really hurt it. It was really boring at times, and for me, we knew that Shara was going to become Black Panther, but it was really slow getting there. We basically had to see, the brother die and then the mother die. It's like the mother actually didn't have to die, but she didn't want to become Black Panther, and then it's like, the mother just didn't have to die. So that's why I preferred Doctor Strange to Black Panther. I also enjoyed a movie named Dog, Channing Tatum. It was a really emotional ride, but I knew once the dog got introduced that he was going to raise and take care of it, but it was really emotional because it was loosely based off a true story when a soldier went to war and has post-traumatic stress disorder, and the dog's emotional because his owner died, so that was a real emotional movie. And definitely this honourable mention goes to Mobius.
I agree. Mobius was probably the most disappointing movie of the year. I thought it had a lot of potential and it just didn't do any of it. I found recently seen Avatar. Avatar definitely didn't make the list for me. There was a few issues with that. Honourable mention to, Wakanda Forever was close to making the list, and I really did like Doctor Strange. That'd be 6th on the list if I extended it one extra. That was very close. Surprising movies. I thought Lost City was pretty good with Channing Tatum, Sandra Bullock, and Brad Pitt was hilarious in this movie.
They've been in a lot of movies together.
Yeah, so for that movie being, not too serious, it's not meant to be a Hollywood blockbuster, that surprised me. Yeah, so they're the movies that I really look forward to and I enjoyed this year. Any others?
No, but most anticipated for next year?
Probably Ant-Man?
Yes, I would agree with that. Shazam as well?
Yes, Shazam. I'm very much looking forward to that. So Ant-Man and Shazam. I did see a preview for a movie, I think it's called Babylon, that has every actor you can think of in it. It's got Brad Pitt in it and Tobey Maguire and Margot Robbie. I saw an ad for that the other day and that looks wild. But I have no idea what it's about, but it just looks wild. So that I'm anticipating to find out more about that.
Well, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Comment down below your list in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and share, hit the notification bell. See you in the next video next year. Bye-bye.